Assalamu alaikum students, welcome to this video number 7, which is about the point estimate and confidence interval. Remember, in the previous video I showed you a lot of examples to find the probability. So in today's video I'm going to continue our discussion about the inferential statistics, and today I will show you how to do the point estimation and how to find the confidence interval. Okay, so I start this lecture by doing the practice question in which I gave you in the previous video. So I will do it again. I hope you have already done it, but let us do it together. And so we have to find the probability that your age is between 62.64 and 86.16. And remember that the average is 74.4 and the standard deviation is 6 years. So basically we have, remember that in the middle we have 74.4, this is x bar, and we have to find the probability between 62.64 and 86.16. So we have to find this probability. Okay, so remember the first step is to convert this x variable into z variable. So in the middle of the z we have 0, and here we have z upper value, and here we have z this value for 62.64 and for 86. So we have to find these numbers for z. So how do we convert them into z? So we find z for 62.64. So let me write z. So it's x minus x bar divided by standard deviation. So if we put the number, so it's 62.64 minus 74.4 divided by 6. So the answer is minus 1.96. And then I calculate the 60 z value for 86.16. So it is equal to 86.16 divided by minus 74.4 divided by 6. So the answer is plus 1.96. Okay, so I have the number 1.96 minus, and then we have plus 1.96. So, and then you see the table will give us the value from this point to this point and from this point to this point. So we just have to go to the table and find the number. So if we go 1.9 is here, and then we go to column number 6, 1.96. So the value is 0.475. So the probability that the x value is greater than 62.64 and less than 86.16 is actually the probability that z is greater than minus 1.96 and less than plus 1.96. So this is equal to area from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to minus 1.96. So this is one area from this point to this point, and then we have to add area from z is equal to 0 to z is equal to plus 1.96. And you see minus 1.96, this area is actually same because normal distribution is symmetric, so it means both sides the area is same. So it is 0.475 plus 0.475, and the answer is 0.95. So this is the probability, 0.95, 95% probability that your age is between 62.64 and 86.16. So what did we learn from the previous example? That if the z value is minus 1.96 and plus 1.96 on the other side, then this blue area is 95%. Okay, this is always the case. If z value is minus 1.96 and this value is plus 1.96, you will always get this is equal to 95%. And then if on the other hand, if you have another example where the value of z is minus 1.645 and plus 1.645, then this middle area will be 90%, or the probability will be 90%. Okay, so this is standard normal distribution. You can always find the same number if these numbers are this. And now if you want to see that if you take 0 plus minus standard deviation and plus standard deviation, or you can say that 0 minus 1 and plus 1, if you want to find how much is the area between this, so this yellow area is 68.27, and if you take the interval between minus 2 and plus 2, so the probability will be 95.45. If you take minus 3 and plus 3, it will be 99.73. So this is the benefit of standard normal distribution, and we know that this is always the case. Okay, so I hope now you understand how to find the probabilities using normal distribution. I will also upload some more example, but now we are trying to understand the we go back to our inferential statistics. Okay, and inferential statistics, we are basically interested in finding the point estimation, and we do the interval estimation, or we also call it confidence interval. Okay, and then we also do the hypothesis testing. Okay, so let me explain this concept to you with the help of this example. So you want to, let me use the pointer here. So you want to calculate the average life expectancy in Oman. So this is your research question, this is your project, and you draw a sample of size 5,000. Why do you want to draw this sample? Because discussing the whole population in Oman, it's very difficult. There are many people. So if I want to work with the population, then what I have to do, I have to calculate the life of everybody in Oman, and then I calculate the life expectancy. Let's suppose you calculate how many people have died in Oman, and you calculate the age, and then you take the average life. Okay, so this is how you do with the population, but you don't have the population. It's very difficult to study the whole population. So what do? You draw a random sample of size 5,000 individual. So this is the data. The first person lived 73 years. So this is the people who already died. Okay, because you want to find the life expectancy. So the first person lived 73 years, the other person lived 78 years, the third person lived 89 years, the fourth person lived 64 years, and so on. And you have the data for 5,000 individuals. And what is your question? You have to calculate the life expectancy, and on the basis of the sample, you can just calculate the mean of the sample. And remember, the mean of the sample is the point estimate of the population. So let me do the point estimation is actually you have to find x bar from sample. So this is your point estimate. So how do you find it? You take x bar is equal to sum of x divided by n. And how much is the sum of x? So this is the total 372,000 divided by how much is the n? N is 5,000. So you put 5,000 and your answer is 74.4. So this is same number what we were using. This is how they calculated it, 74.4. So this is question number 1. This is called point estimate. And it's very easy. You just calculate the average from the sample is your point estimate. And now the next question is, what is 95% confidence interval or interval estimation? So we have to find 95% confidence interval. So what is the meaning of this here? The meaning is that we have to make 95% probability, this 95%, okay, and we want to find what is the x value here and what is the x value here. Okay, so the probability is given and you have to find the x value here and you have to find the x value here. So now you can understand that the confidence interval or finding these x value is the reverse process. So what happens in finding the probability? You are given these x values and you have to find the probability. But in confidence interval, you are given the probability and you have to find the x values. Okay, so you have to do the reverse process. So let me write it. Confidence finding confidence interval is the reverse process of probability. Okay, so we have to do the reverse process. And for this question, we already know that what was the x value? The x value was 62.16 and 86.16. I don't know what is the exact value, 64 and 16. So this is you understand, the whole point of doing the probability is to show you that the confidence interval is the reverse process of the finding the probability. So in confidence interval, you are given the probability, you are given this probability, but you have to do something to find the x values. Okay, so I will show you how to find those x values, which is called confidence interval. Okay, so now I will show you the reverse process. So we have to find 95% confidence intervals. Okay, so how do we find it? So let me show you in the diagram. So this is 95%. This is given 95%. So we have to find these x values. Okay, but we know that for z value, if this is 1.96 and this is minus 1.96, if we have 95% probability. I showed you in the first slide or second slide that if the probability is 95%, then the z value is 1.96 plus and this is 1.96 minus. Okay, so now what you can do, you can use the formula for z. The formula for z is x minus x bar divided by standard deviation. Okay, so the z is clear. So the z is minus 1.96. So right now we are finding this number here. So minus 1.96. What is x? We need to find. Minus x bar is 74.4 and divided by standard deviation is 6. So this is the reverse process. So usually we find z, but here we are trying to find x. So this is reverse process. So from probability we find the z values and then we find the x value. So how do we find the x value now? So I can just simplify it. So I take this on this side. So 1.96 into 6 is equal to x minus 74.4. So if I do the calculation, so I have to use the calculator. 1.96 into 6. So this is 11.76 minus is equal to x minus 74.4. So now I bring this on this side. So x will be equal to 74.4 minus 11.76. So the answer is 62. So this number is 62.64. This is the lower limit. This is lower limit. And now I have to find this x. So how do I find this x? So again I have to write the formula for z. Z is equal to x minus x bar over standard deviation. And now what is my z value? So this is my z value now because I want to find this. So 1.96 is equal to x, which I have to find, minus 74.4 divided by standard deviation is 6. So if I solve it, 1.96 into 6 is equal to x minus 74.4. So this is 11.76 is equal to x minus 74.4. So the x will be equal to 74.4 plus 11.76. So the value of x will be equal to 74.4 plus 11.76. So the answer is 86.16. So this is 86.16. Okay, so this is the, you see, this is the reverse process. So if we want to find the confidence interval, we start with the probability and we see what is the z value, and by using the formula then we go back to x value. This is called confidence interval. And this 64.64 is lower value and 86.16 is upper value of the confidence interval. So the confidence interval is 64.64 and 86.16, and we are calculating 95% confidence interval. So now with the same question, I would like to show you how to find 90% confidence interval. So now our question is find 90% interval. Okay, so again our x bar is already, point estimate is 74.4, standard deviation is 6. So both of these are point estimates. Okay, so how do we find the 90% confidence interval? So start with the diagram. So now our probability is 90%. Okay, so probability is 90%. And we have to find these x values. So this is x and lower value, and this is upper value. So remember, what is the first step? You have to convert, you have to find what are the values, z values. So you remember, for 90%, okay, for 90% the value, the z value is 1.645 minus and plus 1.645 for 90% probability. Okay, so now I know the z value, I can go back and find the x values. So remember, the formula is z is equal to x minus x bar divided by standard deviation. So now first I use the lower value of z. And what is the lower value of z? 1.645 minus is equal to x, I have to find, minus x bar is 74.4 divided by standard deviation is 6. So it is minus 1.645 multiplied by 6 is equal to x minus 74.4. So now I have to multiply them. So it is, let me use my calculator, 1.645 multiplied by 6. So it is minus 9.87 is equal to x minus 74.4. So x will be equal to 74.4 minus 9.87, and the answer is, let me calculate, 64.9. Okay, so this number here is 64.53. And now I have to find the upper limit. So for upper limit, I have to use this value of z. So z upper is equal to x minus x bar divided by standard deviation. So 1.645. Now I have to use positive number, and then x minus 74.4 divided by 6. So it is 1.645 multiplied by 6 is equal to x minus 74.4. So now if I solve it, x will be equal to 74.4 plus 9.87. So the value of x upper is, let me do it again, 74.4 plus 9.87. So my answer is 84.27. So this is upper limit. So let me write the upper limit, 84.27. Okay, so this is confidence interval. So my confidence interval is 64.53 to 84.27. And how much we are confident? 90% confident. Okay. Okay, so now let me show you how to find 70% confidence interval. Okay, so for again the same step, we have to use the distribution here, and we have to now draw the 70%. So I'm doing it quickly. So this is a 70% probability. Okay, and I have to find these XU and I have to find this XL. This is called confidence interval. So, but the problem is that for Z value and this Z value, I do not know the numbers here, because for 95% I knew that it is 1.96, and for 90% I knew it is 1.645. But for 70% I don't have the number. But I can use the table to find the Z value. Remember, from how do we find it? So the table can give me the value from this point to this point, and this is 0.35 and this is 0.35. Remember, this is 70%, so this is 35% and this is 35%. So if we divide it in the middle. So now I can go back to the table and see where this 0.35, what is the corresponding Z value. So if I go to the table here, so it shows me so now I have to look inside the table, not the outside, because I need the outside number. But first I have to see where is 0.35 inside the table. So 0.35, let me bring the pointer. So for inside I have to find 0.35. So this is 0.3508, this is 0.3485. So it means it is in between these two numbers. Okay, it is in between these two numbers. So let's suppose this is here. So what I can do, I can see that this is no here. So this is 1.03 and 1.04. So this is against 1.03 and 1 point in between 1.04. So what I can do, I can just take the average. So it is 1.25. Sorry, 1.35. So this is minus 1.35 and this is plus 1.35. How do I get it? I take the probability, I just repeating it, I take the probability, I divide it into half, because table is always giving from 0 to this number, so it is 0.35, the half of 70%, and then I go inside and find the number. If there are two numbers in between, then you can take both numbers. So it is 1.03 and this one is 1.04. So 1.03 and 1.04, if I take the average, it is sorry, this is not 1.35, but 1.035. Okay, so this is 1.035. You can just add these two numbers and divide by 2. So it is minus 1.035 and 1.035 plus. And now you can use the XL formula, and then you can use X up, upper value, same formula. Okay, so this number here is, we have to find these two numbers. This is XL and this is XU. This is 74.4. This is 74.4. This is 6. This is also 6. And then this number here, sorry, this is Z. I'm sorry, I'm doing it quickly because the video is already long. So this ZL is 1.035 minus, and this number here is plus 1.3035. If you solve it, you will find the value of XL and XU, and that is your confidence interval. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video, and inshallah see you in the next video.